It's the granddaddy of them all, Big Sandy at Belmont Park. Good evening and welcome to the Belmont Stakes 2023 betting show on the eve of Belmont Park and the 2023 Belmont Stakes. Of course, 13 races have been scheduled for Saturday at beautiful Belmont Park. We've got Tom Durkin coming out of retirement to call the Belmont Stakes. It should be an exciting day of racing, and we're going to go over, by popular request, people wanted to go over these stakes races. We'll talk a little bit about the Belmont and get you ready for Belmont Stakes Day. But first off, if you're tuning in, let me know where you're from. I'm broadcasting live from Minnesota, just minutes away from Canterbury Park, where the Prides of Canterbury will be running on Saturday. I'll be watching those races after the Belmont card, but that's where I'll be spending most of my day on Saturday at Canterbury Park, playing the Belmont Stakes 2023. Already a big day of racing. We saw a 3-5 shot, Warlike Goddess, go down on the turf. And then we also saw another upset, Money's Gold, running out of the money. So we got some people coming in from San Francisco, California. We've got people coming in from the East Coast in New Jersey, and we're going to be going over the stakes races tonight on this betting show. And first off, I'm going to kind of get you into how I like to play these big days and kind of some recommended wagering strategies. Some people had suggested maybe to kind of go over some overall strategies on these big days. So these are just things that I have picked up over the years. So again, where are you from? Let me know. We had Donna. She is from Pennsylvania. I believe she went to Presque Isle Downs. John is from the Windy City. He was excited about the great races today. So yes, Chicago, John J. representing Chicago. But let's go over some of my big day betting strategies. First off, the races that we're going to be going over tonight include the True North Stakes on Saturday. We've got the Poker Stakes on the turf. We've got the Ogden Phipps, the Woody Stevens, which is for 3-year-olds going 7 furlongs. And then we've got the Jaipur Stakes, 1 mile, grade 1 on the turf. We've got the Met Mile, the big race. And then we've got the Manhattan on the turf. And then we close it out with the Belmont Stakes, race 12 of 13 races scheduled for Saturday. We've got somebody coming in from Minneapolis, not far from me. I think I know that guy. The Thoroughbred Racing blog is here. If you want to follow a good blog on Canterbury, he does some shorts from the winner's circle at Canterbury Park. Just look for Thoroughbred Racing blog. We've got somebody from Youngstown, Ohio, an hour from Mountaineer and Thistledown and Presque Isle, and not far from Mahoning Valley. Wow. I didn't realize that you were close to so many tracks, Al. That's a nice area to be in. You can hit Ohio, you can hit Presque Isle, you can go to Mahoning Valley. So a lot of good racing. But let's start off tonight's show with the Belmont Stakes. Of course, the test of the champion, going to be race 12 tomorrow. No scratches today. The only known scratch was Fort Bragg from the Woody Stevens. So that reduces that one. We've got somebody from Georgia, the home of the Walking Dead. Yes, William Daly coming in from Georgia. I'm not sure. There's no trace tracks in Georgia. So William will probably be playing online unless he goes down to Florida, maybe every now and then to Gulfstream Park. But yes, people coming in from everywhere around. So we'll spend the first few minutes of the show kind of talking about my big day betting philosophy. So you don't have to agree with these. These are just some things that I've seen over the years. You know, the one thing that you like about the big days is you get the large pools. And with these larger pools, horses will normally go off at higher prices than they normally are. So we saw that happen today. Pretty Mischievous, who won the Kentucky Oaks, she ended up going off the second favorite because they played Money's Gold down to the favorite. Running styles, one of the things I like to do when I like a speed horse, I like to play a closer for second in the exacta. And when I like a closer, I like to play the speed over the closer over the speed for the exacta. Another rule is I like to look for improving 3-year-olds. 3-year-olds are still improving this time of the year. So a lot of times you can kind of, with older horses, they kind of have their speed figures, they have their running styles, they have their preferred running styles, but 3-year-olds can change running styles. They can improve very quickly, but like Charlie Winningham used to say, horses are like strawberries. They can decline very quickly as well. Also, usually you get faster paces. The horses and the jockeys are trying to get position early on. And so the horses and the jockeys, sometimes you'll see some faster paces. You'll see the quick early fractions. Then they'll slow it down a little bit down the backside. Also, on the turf races, on these big days, you'll get big fields, so you can get some potential prices on the turf races. So I always start looking for some long shots on the turf races. For exactas, I never play the favorite over the second favorite in the exacta. It doesn't happen very often. When it does, it usually doesn't pay much. And some of the other combinations, even if you play the favorite over the fourth favorite, it usually pays better. And then also, I like to play the favorite second in the exacta. I never play the favorite to place. Sometimes you get where you might get a $4 or $5 place bet. If you play 2 or 3 horses over a favorite to play in the exacta, sometimes you can get an $18, $20, $25 horse in that exacta. So I never play the top 2, 1, 2 in the exacta. Daily doubles, I look for a key horse. And then daily doubles, I look for a couple of daily doubles that I can play throughout the day. I'll bet every race a few bucks, but normally I try to key on a couple of races where I can kind of get a $20 double or a $15 double and try to do that. Pick 5, bet a smaller portion of that of your handle. I see a lot of people, they get all their money tied up in pick 5s and pick 4s, and then they go 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5. And it can just kind of tie up your handle most of the day. So that's what you got to do. So John, again, reiterating Charlie Whittingham's old quote, horses are like strawberries. They can spoil overnight. The best hope is a drop. So let's see what we got here. Those are just some of my big day betting strategies. When you take a look overall, if you have any big day betting strategies, let me know here in the comments. Also, the fun on the big days is trying to pick the winner. So, I think the rest of the year, I'm happy just kind of cashing some tickets. But what I like to do on these big days, the fun is picking a winner and try to pick 1 or 2 horses that you have an opinion on and use them in exactas or doubles or key and a pick 3. So that's what I like doing with the big days. I usually narrow it down to maybe 6 or 7 races. Then from there, I try to narrow it down to 3. And then I try to play some exactas, maybe a horse over 2 or 3 horses, then a couple of horses over another horse in second. So really what I'm trying to do is key off a couple of opinions. And I also think it's fun to try to pick a winner. I think, you can cover some more horses, but at the end of the day, if you can pick 1 or 2 winners on the day, you can usually have a good day on these big days. There's been days on these big days where I've had just 1 winner, sometimes only 2 winners, and still made a little bit of money. So here's where I'm going there. Now, also, all the big favorites will not win. We saw the 3 to 5 go down today on the turf. We saw Money's Gold run out of the money. Warlike Goddess did not win. And so out of these 5 horses, all 5 of these horses will not win. I'll guarantee you that. Cody's Wish, Elite Power, Clairiere, Forte, Arabian Lion, these horses will not all win. So whether it's bad trip, bad decision, slow pace, fast pace, something always happens. You always get that 5 to 1, 6 to 1, 10 to 1. Doesn't have to be a long shot, but you will get some shots on these big days. On the Derby day, we had Web Slinger at 25 to 1. In the Breeders' Cup last year, we had Elite Power at 10 to 1. So you're always going to get these shots on these big days. And even another one, you can get sometimes that shot will come second for the exacta. Like in Flightline's race, you had Olympiad run second at 25 to 1. And all of a sudden you had a $40 exacta with a 3 to 5 horse. So Williams says exactas are a big benefit when you like a favorite. Generally, you can get better odds or take a swing for second. So there's an example. Flightline over Olympia, I think that paid like $40, and Flightline was like 3-5. He basically tossed Life is Good and Hot Rod Charlie and hit a nice exacta for second. And on a big day like that with the big pools, you can get some money. So Donna T says Forte, a top handicapper, says all the way. We'll talk about Forte when we get to the Belmont Stakes. Italian Water Ice says Forte can't lose. He's talking about Italian, Vinny Vici, over and out for Forte. Elite Power 5-1 in the Breeders' Cup. Definitely a little bit of a price on that day. He's going to be bet down tomorrow big time. So look for some prices. All of these favorites will not win. Try to find one. So let's start going over these races. We're going to start off with the True North. This is race number 3 on Saturday, and it's a small field. Now, some people say small field, big price. This is a little bit more classy race. You've got Today's Flavor at 5-1. Now you got Synthesis at 12-1. That one's a little bit all classed on my end. Anarchist is a live long shot, I think, shipping in. Elite Power 4-5, probably going to be about 3-5 in the betting. Now, small field coming in off the pace, and then you've got Strobe 2-1, possible pace setter. The interesting thing, the last time Elite Power lost was to Strobe at Churchill Downs last year on Derby Day. And since then, Elite Power has not won. He won an allowance race. He won the Vogsburg. He won the Sprint, Breeders' Cup. Then he went to Saudi Arabia and won that race. So Elite Power, I'm kind of narrowed it down. I'm going to be picking Strobe as my top pick. Elite Power's got to come from behind. Bill Mott could have a big day. He had a nice winner in the last race today in the Intercontinental at 6-1. Warlike Goddess ran out of the money, but he's got some other runners tomorrow. So Strobe and Elite Power, the live long shot to me, if you maybe want to include an exacta, is maybe Anarchist, live long shot coming in here. And Vinny Vici is I came, I saw, I conquered, not over and out. Well, over and out is a good guess. So that's where I was at with my Italian on that one. So this is great. Race 3, True North. Anybody have a pick in the True North? Get them on here if you have a question about this race or some of the other undercards. We'll be going over the Belmont Stakes a little bit later. And of course, the Belmont Stakes betting show tonight on Belmont Stakes Eve. Had some good performances today. Pretty mischievous winning. Darth Vader running a big race, running second in the Acorn. Nice to see that Acorn on a Friday at a mile and a 16th. I think that was a good move. So I kind of like the way they spread out these races this year. So that's race number 3. And when you take a look overall, we've got the Belmont Stakes betting show and the Poker Stakes. Now, this is going to be race number 5. This is on the turf. Now, if you were watching the Keeneland meet this year, Ches Pierre went off at 9-1 at Keeneland the last time out and blew away the field. Monster win, beat Modern Games, who went back over to Europe and won that race over there. Fast buyer speed figure, fastest in the race. He's going to be he's even money on the morning line. Going to be the speed of the race most likely. You've got Emirati at 6-1, McKinnon at 15-1, the presser. Dreams of Tomorrow is a closer. Anaconda is a closer. Emmanuel, I'm not so sure what to think about him. I think overall his form is declining. He ran on Preakness Day. He ran at Keeneland before that and kind of faded. Philo Di Arania got a little bit of a chance here on the outside in that 7th post position. Comes a little bit off the pace. Did show some speed last year at Woodbine. Wired the Woodbine King Edward Stakes. Wired another race at 7 furlongs. So Philo can come just a little bit off the pace. And so one of the things when I like to play different running styles. So if I like Ches Pierre as the speed of the race, he went wire to wire last time. Almost. He was second for a little bit, then ended up winning the race by 3 with a 106 buyer. Before that, he had lost to Emmanuel at Tampa Bay. Before that, he had won by 5 at Laurel last year as a 4-year-old. Lifetime, he's 6 for 7. The only loss he's ever had was at Tampa in February to Emmanuel. And Emmanuel set a track record that day at Tampa. So William says he likes Emirati at 9-2 or above that. Mike says Dr. Shivel or White Obario to upset the Met Mile and spice up all the multi-race wagers. And yes, Chaz Pierre broke the track record in that last race at Keeneland, a 133.46. Beat Modern Games, who went back to Europe and won. Siggy says, do I believe in the bounce? Well, it depends on how quickly they run back to a Beyer speed figure. So the bounce is when some people believe that if they run a big effort and they come back too quickly, they can kind of bounce down from that effort. So Ches Pierre didn't run, last time ran on April 14th. So took all of May off and then now running here in June. So I don't think Ches Pierre is going to bounce. But I do think that Ches Pierre ran a big race the last time. And now it's looking like that Tampa Bay race was really kind of the outlier on his form. But getting back to how I would play these exactas, if you like Ches Pierre as the speed, then I would toss Filo d'Arania because he'll probably burn that horse out on the turn. And then late, somebody could come rolling for second. And that could be like Dreams of Tomorrow or Anaconda. Now, if you like Filo d'Arania and you think she can get the jump on Ches Pierre, then maybe you want a horse coming a little bit off the pace. Emirati's got kind of a different type of running style. He went wire to wire last time out in a grade 3. That was last September. Before that, he came off the pace. 6 for 18 lifetime, 6-1 on the morning line. So I think Emirati will definitely be over 9-2 that William is talking about. Donna T likes Forte. Charles B says horses that had Lasix in the past did poorly today in the stakes races. Try that maybe angle. So yeah, there's some horses that'll be off Lasix. Anaconda could be second or third from William. So I'm leaning in this race. I'm kind of liking Dreams of Tomorrow. I think that one could be in the trifecta as kind of the price horse in this race. I think he'll be about 10 or 12-1. I like the fact that got a nice win at Belmont. He's got 3 starts at Belmont, 2 wins and a second, going for Claude McGahey. Manuel Franco, he rides this horse, rode it the last time. And overall on the turf, 15 starts on the turf, 4 of his 5 lifetime wins. I think Dreams of Tomorrow is the type of horse that doesn't need to be on the lead, won't be coming from the back of the pack, has a little bit of a class, has ran in some big allowance races, faced horses like Analyze It, also ran against Flavius in the Lure Stakes, and a while back ran at Pimlico, coming a little bit off the pace. But he's got a little bit of a versatile running style, and I'm going to be going with Dreams of Tomorrow as my shot here. Yeah, I'm not good with names because I watch a lot of these races with the sound off. I like taking my own notes. So a lot of these races I watch, but I watch with the sound off. So I don't actually know what the announcer comes them sometimes, although I do know the announcer does call him Forte. So that's my angle on that. Ches Pierre, let's see what's happening. Shea is pronounced Shea. Well, that's got me. I'm not French, so we'll take that one. Now we go to the Ogden Phipps. I thought this was a good race. Small field. And Clairiere will probably be the favorite just because of her overall form. She's 6-5 on the morning line. Secret Oath, the Kentucky Oaks winner last year, 2-1. Played Hard, beat Secret Oath the last time. She's 6-1. Game Stocks is 30-1. I don't think that one really has much of a shot. Search Results ran a big race last year on this day at Belmont, and then passed the Champagne. Big win last time out at Belmont, and 8-1 on the morning line. So Charles B, he says he likes McKinnon in the Poker Stakes, so maybe that's a good price to include. So past the Champagne, I thought that was a good race last time out. I thought that was a big price, nice price that day. Past the Champagne. This is race number 7 tomorrow, the Phipps. Overall, that was a 94 speed figure, 1 mile distance, 1 for 1 at Belmont. Ran second at Laurel and then ran second to Tap Dance Fever at Tampa Bay in the Wayward Last Stakes. So I think you can play this race a couple of ways. If you like Clairiere, maybe you can play Search Results or Pass the Champagne for second. I'm going to be going with Search Results. I liked her race last year in this race. I think she's the lone speed. The only other one I think can really challenge on the front end early on is Pass the Champagne. I think those two are the speed of the race. And I'm going to hope that Clairiere gets a little bit further back, or if she's got to use a little bit of her speed early to get position, and then she won't have as good of a stretch punch. But I thought Search Results ran good at Churchill Downs the last time. She ran a big race and beat Clairiere a couple of races back. Then Clairiere beat her in the Apple Blossom. And then the last time out, Played Hard beat Secret Oath at Churchill Downs. So some of these horses are just taking turns with each other. William says he likes Search Results, good run last year in the Gallop Out, otherwise in the Exacta under Clairiere. So yeah, Clairiere I think is going to be a little bit overbet. I think she's going to be the favorite. I think she's a closer in a small field. I don't see the fractions being fast. I think there'll be honest splits here in this race, but I think overall there isn't a lot of speed. And I think if Search Results can get the lead over Pass the Champagne, that could set up Search Results for a big effort here with Search Results at 4-1, maybe 7-2. I think she'll be bet down a little bit lower than that. I think Secret Oath will be right around 2-1, and I do think Clairiere will be favored in the Ogden Phipps. So definitely some horses. Charles B likes Played Hard. Yes, big game effort. Played Hard has actually had some good efforts overall, not just at Churchill Downs. The Fall City Stakes last year at Churchill Downs on Clark Day, she won that wire to wire as the favorite. Ran a good race in the Spinster against Malathot, who ended up running in the Breeders' Cup Philly Older Mare race. And then Played Hard also ran second at Churchill Downs to Crazy Beautiful in 2021. So she's an older mare, 5 years old, 15 starts, 6 wins, 5 seconds. And so I think Played Hard at 6-1, that's one you may want to take a long look at. Pass the Champagne is coming around to her field potential, beaten by Malathot. Could be a single for Sladkey 34. So yeah, I'd like the price. I think she'll be 7-1. I think she's got a little bit of speed. She doesn't need the lead. Her race at Tampa was a fast race when she ran second. And I liked her. She ran a big race a couple of years ago in the Ashland Stakes when she opened up by 2 lengths and then ended up running second after winning a maiden race at Gulfstream Park. So went straight from a maiden race to the Ashland Stakes and ran second in that race. So Pass the Champagne, definitely a contender here when you look at this 6-horse field. I can really make the case for 5 horses in this race. The only horse I can't really make a case for is Game Stocks. So that's one where, I think some people, when they use the all button, sometimes people won't handicap the race out and they'll include a horse like Game Stocks. So a horse like that will get included on tickets, and any ticket that's got a horse like that, is a toss for me, and I won't be using in a race like that. So the Ogden Phipps, that's going to be race number 7, and it is part of the pick 6, and it's the second half of the filly and mare double. Anybody have any doubles alive from today's doubles from Belmont Park? If you do, let me know which races you're alive in the double. We had, of course, Market Segmentation beat Warlike Goddess. Then we had the last race, Poppy Flower win the Intercontinental at 6-1. So there's some nice prices in some of those $5 doubles tomorrow. Of course, the big favorite won the Belmont Gold double. So really, I think the favorite with Forte is favored in the doubles going into the Belmont Stakes, with the winner of the Belmont Gold Cup today by a few dollars over Angel of Empire. So if anybody's alive in any of their 2-day doubles, leave a comment. See what we got here. Danny is here. She's in the house. Pass the Champagne looking good. Danny joined us on Tuesday night's Belmont Betting Show. So yeah, we're starting over, just going over some of the races to get you caught up, Danny. We went over the poker stakes. I ended up liking Dreams of Tomorrow. A couple people liked Anaconda as a shot. Somebody else liked McKinnon. In the True North, I'm going with Strobe over Elite Power and Anarchist. And somebody else liked Elite Power as their best bet of the day. So we're just passed on the Phipps. My top pick was Search Results. Not a lot of speed in that one. So John Jackson's alive, it looks like, with Tapit Trice in the Belmont Gold Cup with number 2, Tapit Trice. So that would be a nice one with the Gold Cup double. I think that was paying like $48 or something like that. Robert says he likes Played Hard in the Ogden Phipps. So that is a look at that. Our Stephanie is alive with the 2-day pick 6. So she's got 4 more races left to go there. 6-2-4-6. So yes, some good coverage. Let's see what shakes out on that one. That would be a nice one, even with the second favorite, pretty mischievous. And then I think a lot of people went deep in that turf race. So just to be alive, I think, is a good start in that 2-day pick 6. I think there was about 340,000 in that pool as part of the 2-day pick 6. That was a 20-cent bet. Woody Stevens, let's take a look at this race. They announced today that Fort Bragg had a fever. So Fort Bragg has been scratched. He was number 8. And so we have New York Thunder, 3 for 3 in his career, won at Gulfstream Park, went to Woodbine in the last race, now goes synthetic to dirt, has speed. Now, if you look at my notes here, there is a lot of speed in this race. We've got New York Thunder with speed. We've got Federal Judge, 2 for 2, 2 wire-to-wire victories. Dark Vector had a big win on the front end the last time. Victory Formation has speed and needs the lead to win. Drew's Gold is 2 for 2. Speed wins. Outside post will probably have to go from post position 13, even if it's post position 12. So that tells me right away we could have a meltdown. We've basically got 5 speed horses, and then we've got maybe Arabian Lion who cuts back, who may come a little bit off the pace. You've got Gilmore, who ran in the Pat Day Mile, now cuts back to 7 furlongs. So that could be helpful for Gilmore at 12-1 and comes a little bit off the pace. Federal Judge, what did you think of his effort? He beat Extra Anejo on Derby Day as the second favorite and then blew him away at Oaklawn Park. Actually, he regressed a little bit speed figure wise in his debut at Belmont at Oaklawn Park. A big win for Federal Judge, a 97 Beyer speed figure, got a 90 the last time, but went to an allowance race and beat Extra Anejo. Meanwhile, you've got General Jim, the Pat Day Mile winner. He can come from off the pace. He beat Super Chow a couple of races ago at Gulfstream in the Swale Stakes. He's by Into Mischief. He's 4 for 7. And we've got Robert says Drew's Gold is the winner. William Daly likes General Jim. Of course, he won the Pat Day Mile. John Jackson likes 1-4, 1-4, 7-11. So he likes the rail horse. And then also General Jim. New York Thunder definitely has some speed. Drew's Gold is interesting to me. Big win last time out in the Gold Fever. Won by 4 lengths, a 98. Before that, he had an 83 and an 83. He's 4 for 4. He's a Kentucky bred. He's by Violence, and he's a May foal. So he could still be getting a little bit better. These are the horses when I talk about 3-year-olds maybe getting a little bit better. A horse like Drew's Gold, 8-1 outside speed, 4 for 4, going up a little bit in class. Danny likes Drew's Gold. My top selection is actually Gun Pilot. I like Gun Pilot at 20-1. I liked his race in the Pat Day Mile. I like the cutback. That's one of my favorite angles. I liked his race in the Hot Spring Stakes race against Eyeing Clover. And I think there's a lot of speed in this race. But I do like Drew's Gold as a contender at 8-1. A horse that I don't like is Victory Formation. I think he needs the lead. And I think they're going to bet him down to 7 or 8 to 1. And I think he runs his best races near the pace and on the lead. And then you got a horse like Federal Judge with speed. Fort Warren can come off the pace. He's by Curlin, a big effort on the Preakness Day undercard. Fort Warren got an 85 speed figure, but he ran against Having a Meltdown in the San Vicente. And then in his maiden race last October at 6.5 furlongs, he went wire to wire in a 1:15.92. He's by Curlin. He's 2 for 3. He could be a late developer. He's 30 to 1 on the morning line. And then you've got the rail horse, New York Thunder, comes back off the synthetic at 6 furlongs, stretches out. He's by Nyquist, and he could be any type. He ran a 93 in his debut at 5 furlongs on the synthetic at Gulfstream Park. We got Sean, who likes New York Thunder, wire to wire. Italian, Water Ice as Arabian Lion, Speed of the Speed. Drew's Gold is a monster, but I'm not sure this race fits with the post and major speed inspired. If he can rate a little bit, he can maybe be sitting on the outside. I think I'm going to be using Gunpilot a little bit in my exactas and doubles. So I think he can win. I definitely think he can finish in the trifecta, but I will be using him in some of my doubles and exactas, both on top and the bottom. I'll be going over some of my long shots to include tomorrow, a little bit later in the show when we get to that point. Gilmore for Sladkey. So yeah, if you're just joining the show, let us know in the comments where you're from. I'm broadcasting from Minnesota tonight. We've got somebody from Pennsylvania. We've got somebody from Chicago. We've got people from New Jersey. We've got people from California. We've got somebody else from Minneapolis, Minnesota. So the Woody Stevens, I guess I would say this is a spread race for me. I like New York Thunder. I like Gunpilot. If Arabian Lion can come a little bit off the pace, I think he has a shot. If he goes for the lead, I think there might be too much speed. General Jim can come off the pace. We got somebody from Tampa here. We've got somebody from Simon from London. We've got a Sacramento. Yes. Been a long time, but I went to Sacramento about 15 years ago. Was living in Northern California up by the Oregon border and spent the day in Sacramento. So that was kind of a fun trip. Patty is from Kentucky. We've got somebody from the home of Colonial Downs where two Phils broke his maiden. Kenny Powers is from Virginia. We've got Kentucky. We've got Arizona, the Prides of Turf Paradise. So yes, people representing. Looks like in this race as a group, we've like people that like Drew's Gold, Arabian Lion, and New York Thunder seem to be the most picks in this race for the Woody Stevens, which is part of that late. Let's see what that starts. That is race number 8. They got a pick 3. They got a start of a pick 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, ending with the Belmont. And it's the second half of the sprint double. So we'll see what happens there in the Woody Stevens. Sean is 2 miles from Monmouth Park, the War at the Shore. We've got an Ohio bred here, Robert Eugene Smiley. We got somebody from Richmond, Virginia, the home of the Spiders, Diane. I don't know if she's a Spiders fan or not. But yeah, we've got people from everywhere. And so, yeah, I'm leaning towards Gunpilot. He's definitely going to be in my exactas and doubles. I like Federal Judge. I like Drew's Gold. That's kind of a spread race for me in the Woody Stevens. But people like New York Thunder and a couple people like Arabian Lion. So definitely a mixture of picks in that race. Here's another wide open race. Patty says she likes Gunpilot. Let's take a look at the Jaipur Grade 1 race on the turf. The morning line favorite is Caravel at 3 to 1. She's taking on the boys out of the 12 hole. You got Casa Creed off the layoff, 9 to 2. Big Invasion, Trip Trouble the last time out at Churchill Downs, 6 to 1. Arrest Me Red, a little bit of a trip trouble at Churchill Downs, 6 to 1. Dr. Zemph for the for Chad Brown. And then you've got Air Force Red on the cutback. And then you've got Go Bears Go, who has some class in Europe here. So, so San Simon says he's a newbie here, started following the channel when he got hooked on horse racing. He's the one from Sacramento. Yes, when I took Mandaloon as my long shot bet. All right, nice one. Getting home Mandaloon. So glad to have you here tonight. And yeah, horse racing, like I say, this is one of those things where, it's fun to pick a winner. You can play multiple horses in the pick threes. Jaipur. I know Jaipur used to run against Radon, I believe. It was Jaipur and Radon used to battle it out back in the day a long time ago. So Mark says Dr. Z, Go Bears, and Big Invasion. Those are his three picks. So mine ended up being my top pick. I kind of went with a couple of horses. My absolute top pick is probably Big Invasion. But I do like Go Bears Go as a shot. And I also like Dr. Zemph as a horse will I include in my pick threes and my doubles. I do think Goes Bears Go is capable of running a better race. The one thing is the last race with Caravel, she's got to stretch that speed to 6 furlongs, where I think Big Invasion's going to like 6 furlongs. I think Air Force Red's going to like 6 furlongs. Dr. Zemph cuts back to 6 furlongs. And now Caravel's got to try to stretch that speed out to 6 furlongs. Her last 3 wins have been all at 5.5 furlongs, trying to go 6 furlongs. So that's the big question for Caravel, if she can go against the boys. And of course, she won on Breeders' Cup Day at 40-1. Simon says he likes Go Bears Go. Not sure if he's up to the top of this class. We've got Jeremiah likes Casa Creed, Caravel, Air Force Red. John from Chicago likes 11 and 12, Casa Creed and Caravel, with Go Bears Go in second, and then maybe using a little bit of Dr. Zemph as a second place horse, a third place horse. Charles B likes Air Force Red. Sean likes Caravel, and Thin White like Duke as a long shot. So yeah, it looks like this race is pretty wide open from the handicappers online tonight. So I think the key to this race is, again, going back to some of the basics. If you like Caravel as the speed, then I'd play a closer for second. So that would be somebody like Big Invasion, maybe Dr. Zemph on the cutback. Go Bears Go could be rolling late. Even a horse like Arrest Me Red could be rolling late at 6 furlongs. Front Run the Fed out of the 13 post position is a deep closer, won the last time as a long shot, going to be 30-1. He's a closer. He could be running second or third in that trifecta, maybe in the superfecta if you're going to play any of those. I guess the only horse I really don't like is, of the favorites, is I'm not a big fan of Nothing Better, and I really am not a big fan of Ice Chocolate. So I do think there's a couple of tosses here. I think the key to the race is maybe keying a horse first, second, or first, second, third, and then maybe put a couple of horses in the trifecta in first, a couple of horses for second. Goes Bears Go, I think I'll use in a pick 3. I'm definitely going to use Big Invasion in my doubles. I'm going to use Dr. Zemph in my doubles and pick 3s. This will be one of the races that I kind of go 2-3 deep in my doubles, and then try to get either a horse in the 7th using somebody like Gun Pilot or General Jim, or if I go to the next race in the 10th in the Met Mile, try to key with either a horse like White Abario or maybe Dr. Shivel stretching out. So Ice Chocolate. I guess my big concern with Ice Chocolate was, where's my notes on Ice Chocolate? Never ran at Belmont. He lost to Front Run the Fed. He does go synthetic to turf, but he just seems like more of a 5.5 to 6 furlong race. He ran 3 allowance races last year at Woodbine. I don't know. I guess, you got to make the cutoff some point, Danny. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't take him. I'm just saying I try to keep my contenders to about 4 to 5 contenders. And then in my doubles, I'll go 2-3 deep. In my pick 3s, one of my races, I might go 4 or 5 deep. Otherwise, I try to single my pick 3. One of my races, I'll try to single. So that's just kind of the way I like to play. But, I think there's other people that like to go 5 times 5 times 1, or they'll do a single. Yeah, we could have some fast splits here, John. 21 flat, 44, and 109. I do think with this fast and firm as it's going to be, we could see 108 and change for this Jaipur tomorrow at Belmont Park. Of course, you've got some closers here. So again, one of the things I like to do is if I like the speed, I'll play a closer for second. That's another thing with Danny is I just don't know the running style on Ice Chocolate. I don't think he has enough speed to lay close to the pace. And I don't think that he can roll late over Front Run the Fed, Casa Creed, Arrest Me Red. I just think these horses are just a little bit more classier. Now, Sladkey likes long chalk, 9-13 in the money, improving, third off a layoff. So yeah, that's how you get some of these prices on these big days. If you can kind of overlook some of the angles, speed figures are in the mix, but a little bit lower than Arrest Me Red, Caravel. Of course, Caravel last year was 8th in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, ran 3rd in the Kentucky Downs Turf Sprint. So some different ways you can go in the Jaipur. So now we got the Met Mile, big one. Start of the Met Mile, Belmont double. Cody's Wish, probably going to be 4-5, 7-5 on the morning line. Slow Down Andy, 10-1 off the layoff, 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Mile. Got Dr. Shivel stretching out, has to ship from Santa Anita, 10-1. I think he'll be bet lower than that. Hoist the Gold, Dallas Stewart on a big day. Everybody knows about that by now. Dallas Stewart always comes in the money with a long shot on these big days, big Triple Crown days and Breeders' Cup days. Zandon, he had a prep race. I like the cutback for him. Charge It gets a cutback, been disappointing in his last couple of efforts, but now he's 6-1. You get Repo Rocks, a little bit of a win streak for him. He beat Zandon the last time in sharp form, but he's got to go up to grade 1 company. Doppelganger, back-to-back wins, a closer. Did have some back class last year as a 3-year-old. You got White Abarrio off the pace. He beat some nice horses at Gulfstream Park the last time, won the Florida Derby last year. The one thing about White Abarrio, he still needs to run a big race outside of Florida. His best races have been at Gulfstream Park. He did run a good race, couple of races last year at the end of the year, but his best races overall have been in Florida. So the Met Mile, let's see here. Cody, a single but possible upset would be Slow Down Andy. Nice race in the Breeders' Cup. Danny likes Repo Rocks. Italian Water Ice says, yep, White Abarrio, a new trainer. So Cody's Wish by Curlin. He's won 8 out of 12 races. He's riding a 5-race win streak. He won the Forgo at 8-1. He won the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. He won the Churchill Downs Grade 1 race the last time out. His last 3 Beyer speed figures are 105, 106, 112. So some big races overall out of Cody's Wish. And Bill Mott seems to have him ready and cranked. 8 for 12 lifetime, 12 for 12 in the money in his career. He's a 5-year-old and he's won 5 in a row. And going to see what happens tomorrow. Mike says, have a good day tomorrow. So yeah, good luck, Mike, on all your picks tomorrow. Met Mile. My top pick is Dr. Shivel. I also like Zandon. I think he's going to be a little bit higher than 5-1. I like Dr. Shivel as the speed. Cody's Wish will probably have to go a little bit wide. A couple people like Charge It, Johnny V. I'm not sure about a speed meltdown because I think really the only speed is Repo and Dr. Shivel. Otherwise, Hoist the Gold is a closer. Cody's Wish is a closer. Doppelgang is a closer. White Abarrio comes a little bit off the pace. So Dr. Shivel to me is really the only speed. So I really don't think we'll have a speed meltdown. I think we'll get the speed meltdown possibly in the Woody Stevens. That would be my best bet for a speed down. Slow Down Andy, yes, did have a boxed in trip in the Breeders' Cup Mile. So a lot of people are liking Slow Down Andy. He could be lower than that 10-1 morning line. He seems to be getting a lot of attention from a lot of the handicappers, from people that like Slow Down Andy. Of course, he ran 3rd to Defunded in the Awesome Again, and Defunded won the Hollywood Gold Cup. And then he ran 2nd in the Losail Derby, and he ran and won the Sunland Derby last year. Overall, 9 for 10 in the money for Slow Down Andy. Doug O'Neill trains. He worked out 6 furlongs in 112 and 4. That was his last workout, 6 furlongs in 112 and 2, and 5 furlongs in 59.4. So I guess Slow Down Andy could be ready to roll off the lean, off the layoff for Slow Down Andy. But I don't know. He fits in the mix. I guess at 10-1, I would like him. But if he's 6 or 7-1 and Zandon's 6 or 7-1, or Hoist the Gold's 30-1, I'd rather play Hoist the Gold in the bottom half of an exacta. Dr. Shivel, I think, could be the speed. Charge It, I think, could like the cutback. But his last 2 races just really haven't been that good. Cody's Wish likes to run outside horses. So I think Junior Alvarado is going to make his move to the outside. So maybe if Slow Down Andy can get the rail trip, or Hoist the Gold can get that rail trip, maybe somebody could make the race close by just hugging the rail possibly and staying inside. We'll have to see how that race plays out. Hoist the Gold was second to Cody's Wish at Churchill Downs. He's 30-1 in the morning line. He's got 6 lifetime seconds. So Hoist the Gold, maybe he's the one to include at 30-1. Hoist the Gold with Dallas Stewart. Charge It did win his only race at Belmont by 23 lengths in the Dwyer Stakes last year on 4th of July weekend. And of course, Charge It was second to White Abarrio in the Florida Derby. Now, Repo Rocks, he's won 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5, and 9 for 35. He's a 5-year-old. So we'll see what Repo Rocks can do. He's got to go up in class. The Westchester was a grade 3. The Carter handicap, he lost to Doppelganger, who was going to be 20-1, and he lost the grade 1 Carter to Doppelganger. So maybe Doppelganger at 20-1. He's one of my longer shot prices. So that's the Met Mile. My Met Mile doubles, I'm going to go Zandon, Dr. Shivel, and White Abarrio with Tapit Trice. That's going to be my Met Mile doubles. Try to get a little bit of a price in the first half. Again, one of my rules is I never play favorites in both halves of the double. So whenever I play a double, I toss one of the favorites. So I'm going Tapit Trice as the third favorite. And then I'm going with Dr. Shivel and White Abarrio. They'll all be about 6, 7, 8-1, maybe 10-1 on Zandon or Dr. Shivel. So that's how I'm seeing that race. For the Manhattan, we've got the favorite is going to be Up to the Mark, who won on Churchill Downs on Breeders' Kentucky Derby Day. You've got Ottoman Fleet, who won a grade 3. You've got Warren Point, who was bet down the last time and kind of disappointed as a favorite in his last race. This time around, a little bit higher price on Warren Point. Red Knight's in good form, 8-1. And Warren Point was 5th in the Man of War to Red Knight. Ottoman Fleet is 4 for 11 for Charles Appleby. Appleby comes over and wins. He's got Warren Point and Ottoman Fleet. Soldier Rising is 4 for 16 with 6 seconds. He's 12-1. 3, 4, 6, 8. So that's what the pick is here. And so we'll see what how that shakes out. Looks like he's going with Warren Point. Tapit Trice didn't fire for 10 furlongs. Why would he fire at 12? Well, sometimes horses like 12 better than 10. That's all I can say about that. We will see in the Manhattan. I think Soldier Rising is a horse you can use in the exacta. Yes, Warren Point was washed out a little bit in the last race. He can probably improve second out over here. Simon O'Neill likes Warren Point. Soldier Rising likes the price for Mark. Danny likes Warren Point, so a lot of Warren Point chatter in this race. Strong Quality has some races every now and then for Mark Cassie. Won his last race at Keeneland, a high-class allowance. Ran at Gulfstream Park, ran an 82 Buyers. So overall, his Buyers are a little bit lower. The one thing with Warren Point, he ran second in a grade 1 in Quatar, and then he also ran 5 for 9 lifetime, ran in some bigger races, had William Buick on him, had a couple of times, so he's had some good jocks on him. I think for Godolphin Blue and Appleby, Warren Point will probably be 7-2. I think Up to the Mark, big effort the last time, but he's facing tougher horses. So I would want 2-1 on Up to the Mark. I think he'll be about 9-5, 2-1. He was bet down last time on Churchill Downs Day, but he's facing a lot better horses here. What do people think about Rock Emperor off second off a layoff? Made a little bit of a move the last time in the Fort Marcy to Ottoman. Kind of a classy veteran, a 7-year-old, 2 wins at Belmont Park. So the Manhattan definitely has a shot here at some prices. You've got Red Knight, sharp form, 8-1. Rock Emperor at 12-1. Up to the Mark at 8-5. Highest Honor, this is a type of horse maybe you could use for third. Chad Brown, 7-year-old by Tappet. Only ran 1 race at Belmont. Second off a layoff, a long string of workouts, but worked out on April 28th, May 7th, May 14th, May 22nd, May 28th. Highest Honors could be sitting on his best effort here in a couple of years. So Highest Honors at 20-1. That's one that I would want to use with Chad Brown at 20-1 for a price in that trifecta. Yes, John says Big Day Chad is going to come out hungry. And last year he won with a long shot. Tribute Haven went wire to wire in the Manhattan at 17-1. So Simon says Warren Point, Up to the Mark. A couple people like Up to the Mark. Lewis likes Strong Quality. So yeah, could have been a little bit of an early move on Warren Point. Yeah, that was kind of a strangely run race. Kind of a couple of horses did some different race flows in that race. In the last race, Patty likes Ocean Atlantic. She is chiming in from the great state of Kentucky here tonight. So yeah, Ottoman Fleet, I think he at 5-2. Here's what I think. I think Warren Point will be bet down to probably 7-2. I think Ottoman Fleet will go up to about 7-2. I think Up to the Mark is going to be about 9-5. I think in doubles, Warren Point will be the second lowest paying horse in doubles. But I think you can make the case for Red Knight. The 2 shots that I'm going to use in the trifecta for third is Highest Honors and Rock Emperor. I think Chad Brown can maybe run in the money with one of those 2 horses. But I'll probably key Up to the Mark first and second in exactas in the Manhattan. So the Belmont Stakes, the granddaddy of them all. Tappet Shoes 20-1, Tappet Trice 3-1, National Treasure. Early betting is showing Forte and Angel of Empire as the 2 betting favorites. Who do you like in the Belmont Stakes? Sladkey says he likes Soldier Price 12-1. Let's see here. So give me your picks for the Belmont Stakes, and also start to give me your live long shots for tomorrow on the Belmont Stakes Day. We'll go to my live long shots. These are horses that I think can run big tomorrow in any of these races for doubles and exactas. So to me, a long shot is 10-1 or higher. I like Anarchist 10-1 in the True North. I like Dreams of Tomorrow 12-1 in the Poker. I like Gun Pilot at 20-1 in the Woody Stevens. Dr. Zemp at 9-1 on the Turf. Zandon at 6-1 or 7-1 in the Met Mile. He might float up to 8-1. And then Soldier Rising at 12-1 in the Manhattan. So those are my long shots for tomorrow. I'm going to be using those horses kind of first and second in the exacta. I will use Gun Pilot in my double. I will use Zandon in my doubles. And I will use Dreams of Tomorrow in my doubles. And my goal tomorrow is if I can hit 1 double, I should be able to make a little bit of money. If I can hit 2 doubles tomorrow, I should be able to do pretty good on the day if I can hit 2 doubles. So those are my long shots. Give me your live long shots for tomorrow. Any horse that's over 7 or 8-1 that you think can run a big race tomorrow, let's hear them. Soldier Rising for Sladkey. Mark for the Belmont Stakes says Tappet Trice over 3, over 7, over 8, $5 box, $120. So he's going to try to go that. Bill says National Treasure 5-1. He's going to go with him. Simon O'Neill says Go Bears Go is his long shot. Johnny says National Treasure, Johnny V and Baffert all day long. Hall of Famers wire to wire. Angel of Empire and Forte for second and third. Danny is going with Angel of Empire, Forte, and Tappet Shoes as a long shot. National Treasure is Belmont pick for Alejandro. You Should Be Dancing, number 2. Let's see here. We've got Forte is going to prove that he's the best horse. We got 3 or 4 people that like Forte. We got Italian Water Ice. We got Patty, I believe. Louis says Forte. Charles B says Hoist the Gold as his long shot in the money. Marty says Forte about 9 to 5. I think that's what he'll probably be. San Simon says National Treasure with the exclamation point. John Jackson says the one horse, number 1, getting some action, 12 to 1 on the one horse in the Woody Stevens. Patty Ann says Archangelo, Ocean Atlantic, and Gun Pilot. Stephanie says Seacom, number 2, stretches out to 7 furlongs. This runner is live. So race 2, Seacom. Let's go to race number 2. I'll pull up those past performances. So race 2, you hear it here from a handicapper on the show. 10 to 1 morning line, 16 starts, 3 wins. He ran 4th the last time out. So there we go. Seacom, race number 2, 10 to 1. There is your long shot right here on the show. That's a nice one. Diane likes Zandon as a long shot. One watching north of Indianapolis. Going to be in the casino betting on the Belmont races. Yes, unretire on Monday. Hatbox, good luck tomorrow. Forte and Hit Show in the Exacta. William Daly says Calibrate in the Bookland. Marathoners are dinosaurs, so why not take the 10 to 1? Charles B likes Federal Judge at about 8 or 9 to 1. So High at 50 to 1. So those are some long shots tomorrow. So now these are some of the horses that I'm going to be using in exactas and doubles tomorrow. These are kind of my key horses on Saturday. I'm going to be going with Search Results as a key horse in my double and exactas, first and second. I'm going to use Tappet Trice and Angel of Empire as my daily double horses and my exacta horses. Federal Judge and Gun Pilot are going to be both in my daily double and my exacta. On the turf, I'm going with Big Invasion, Arrest Me Red, and Dr. Zemph on the cutback. I like Strobe as a daily double type horse, and I like Warren's Point and Up to the Mark as my daily double horses in the Manhattan. So these are horses. And again, what I'm trying to do is hit 1 or 2 doubles tomorrow. I never play back-to-back favorites in the doubles. So if I play a favorite one race, I don't play the favorite the next race. And then I like to play an exacta over 3 horses and then under 2 horses as my exactas. And then I'm going to try to pick 1 or 2 winners tomorrow out of these horses. Search Results, Tappet Trice, Federal Judge, Big Invasion, Strobe, and Warren's Point. If I can get 2 winners out of those 6 races, I can make a little bit of money tomorrow. Anybody else have any wagering strategies? We've got some more long shots. Brent says Harrodsburg and the Woody. Italian Ice says Seacom needs a trainer change. San Simmons says Archangelo, the son of Arrogate, as a long shot in the Belmont. Sladke likes Tappet Shoes as a long shot, 20 to 1 for Brad Cox. Scott Carr as his key horses, likes Forte, Tappet Trice, Angel of Empire as his straight superfecta in the Belmont Stakes. Let's see here. Smarty is still doing his handicapping, but he's saying good luck to everybody yet. Let's see here. Somebody says they like Hit Show. Yeah, a lot of people are starting to like Hit Show, being by Candy Ride, and also with some big speed figures in the Withers, a big race. Ran 5th in the Kentucky Derby, was up near the pace. So we've got some people liking those type of horses. Tappet Trice, some people like Archangelo as a long shot in the Belmont. Angel of Empire getting bet down along with Forte. A lot of people like Angel of Empire. You've got Hit Show going to probably be about 9 to 1. No, Danny, I'll probably bet from race 3 on. The first 2 races I'll watch. I might bet that long shot now, Seacombe in the second, since we're getting some tips on Seacombe. I'll put a couple dollars, maybe a double with Strobe in the third. I'll mainly my key races will be the Manhattan for doubles into the Belmont. I'll play the Woody Stevens into the double. I'll play a little bit in the search results as a double and an exacta horse. My best bet of the day, Danny, is search results. Out of all my picks is search results in the Ogden Phipps. Manny Franco on Hit Show. That could be some money from Jocko Man. So yeah, anybody else have any best bets of the day? Give me your best bet of the day. Race 3, full brother to Red Route 1. So Red Route 1, of course, running in the Belmont Stakes. Of course, the Jaipur Stakes is race number 3. So we'll see. Robert likes Angel of Empire, Forte, and Red Route 1. Anybody else alive in some daily doubles tomorrow, into the 2-day doubles? We had some people alive in the pick 6. We have a couple of people alive in the Intercontinental double with the Woody Stevens. Somebody said they were alive with Synthesis into the Belmont Stakes double. So if you're alive in that double, let me know. So William Double, he says Seacombe also had a rough trip. So yeah, that could be the play of the day here. Some people liking Seacombe in that second race. So again, that's the fun of handicapping on these big days. If you can pick 1 or 2 winners, it's fun to spread out on some of these races, get some long shots. So then, the fun is trying to pick a winner. And on these big races, I didn't have Mage at all in the Derby, but I picked my horse. I went with Angel of Empire, who ran 3rd. Somebody else likes Mr. Hands in the 5th. Somebody likes Warrant in the 6th race as either their long shot or their best bet of the day. Archangelo for a few people. So my live long shots on Saturday. These are my long shots. Anarchist in the True North, Dreams of Tomorrow, Gun Pilot, Dr. Zemp, Zandon, and Soldier Rising. My best bet of the day is search results. And then these are my key horses. If I can get 2 of these horses to win, even if I get 1 winner and 1 second, I usually can do okay. So let's see what else is going on. My exacta pick in the Belmont Stakes, Tapit Trice over National Treasure, Angel of Empire, and Archangelo. Your best bets tomorrow, Belmont Day. Leave a comment for your best bets tomorrow. Let's see what you got out there. Also, your single of the day tomorrow. Who has got a single of the day for either a pick 4, a pick 5, a double, pick 6, whatever? Give me your singles of the day tomorrow for Belmont Stakes Day. Your single of the day. Anybody got a strong single? That's usually a horse that you think you can kind of lean on. Morning line for search results is 4-1, Smarty, in the Ogden Phipps. So I think she's going to be the speed of the race. Chad Brown trains, the Banker boys own, and I think search results is going to run a big race tomorrow in the Ogden Phipps. Somebody else likes search results, could make for great horizontals. Simon says Warren Point is his single for his single tomorrow. So a single is usually a horse that you're going to lean on in your bigger tickets, or a key in your pick 5 or pick 4, maybe a key in your double, and then you go 2 or 3 horses deep in the next leg. So Warren Point, we've got a couple people liking Forte, a couple of people liking Clairiere, Warren Point, a couple people liked Up to the Mark earlier, and a couple of people liked Federal Judge as their best bet of the day in the Woody Stevens. So some wide open races. I think the 2 most wide open races from all of you, the comments, it looks like the Woody Stevens. We had a lot of people picking different horses in the Woody Stevens, including New York Thunder, Gun Pilot, a couple people like General Jim. One person liked Harrodsburg, a couple people like Federal Judge. Gilmore had a couple people. Couple people like Cody's Wish, but they think he could get into trip trouble in the Met Mile. Danny liked Repo Rocks. I do think there's some power in using the wisdom of the crowd on these long shots and doubles. Again, my way to handicap, I'm only going to pick maybe one or two winners tomorrow. So if you can take your pick in a race and maybe my pick, play it underneath in the exacta, or if you have a really strong opinion, play it with somebody else's best bet of the day in a double or an exacta. That is how you can kind of come out ahead on these big days. I don't think you can play if you bet a lot of your handle on the pick fives and pick fours. Italian Water Ice says a horse walks in a bar. Bartender says, hey. Horse says, no, I'll have a beer this time. There we go. He'll be here all night. Italian Water Ice with the jokes. Who can beat Cody? My pick is Dr. Shivel, but a lot of people seem to be liking White Abarrio. A couple of people like Zandon. So that Cody's probably the more likely play there, but you could play White Abarrio if you want a little bit of a shot. Somebody else says Arabian Lion, Cody's Wish, and Angel of Empire, his best bets of the day. Ken likes National Treasure, his single of the day, 4 over 7 in that race. So definitely some mixed opinions. Again, you always get that one race. Today, we saw a market segmentation at 6-1 in the big race today. We saw a 6-1 winner in the Intercontinental in the nightcap. We saw Money's Gold run out of the money as the favorite. So maybe we'll get that long shot in the Belmont Stakes. Maybe we'll get it. I don't think we'll have a long shot in the Belmont Stakes. I think Hit Show will be 9-1. Archangel will be like 8-1. Red Route 1. Forte and Angel of Empire, probably the both 5-2, 2-1 on Forte, maybe 5-2, 3-1 on Angel of Empire. So definitely some people going there. I'm going to go with a little bit longer price and tap a trice, but I also could see National Treasure running a good race. I thought Forte has had some good workouts. Angel of Empire, some nice breezes. National Treasure had a good workout on Monday, 7 furlong gallop out. So he seems to be live coming into this race. So yeah, those are some of the picks for Belmont Stakes Day. Don't forget, we've got a Belmont Stakes handicapping show from Tuesday if you want to watch that. I did an update this morning. We did some picks today again for tomorrow, Big Belmont Day on Saturday. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Maybe I'll go live after the races. Maybe we'll recap it all tomorrow night, see if anybody Red Run in the Brooklyn, Clairiere, Secret Oath, and Past the Champagne. We've also got Clairiere, Secret Oath, and Search Results boxed. So yes, big day of racing on Saturday. Simon, good luck, Simon. He likes Warren Point. Italian Water Ice likes Forte. Danny likes Repo Rocks. We've got a couple of people. Kenny Powers is a Richmond Spider alum there. So we do got somebody representing Virginia and the Richmond Spiders. Good luck, everybody, on Saturday, Belmont Stakes Day. It's been fun going through the Triple Crown. And, of course, we got Saratoga coming up. We've got the big Ohio Derby Day card. We've got some big races coming up. They'll be at Ellis Park now for the Churchill Downs Stephen Foster card. Some live streams coming up and some more race previews. Good luck, everybody, on Belmont Stakes Day on Saturday.